The story of E.J. Antoni's failed nomination began not with a search for expertise, but with a burst of presidential anger. In the summer of 2025, the White House was desperate to deflect blame for disappointing economic news. President Trump, frustrated by weak jobs reports, decided the real problem was the data itself. He accused the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, of manipulating numbers to make his administration look bad. The BLS, long respected for its independence, suddenly found itself under attack. Instead of accepting the facts, the president targeted the agency and its leader, claiming they were political enemies. This baseless accusation set the stage for a dramatic shakeup. The White House moved to take direct control of the BLS, prioritizing loyalty over expertise. On August 11, 2025, E.J. Antoni was nominated, not for his qualifications, but for his political loyalty. The administration wanted someone who would support the president's narrative, regardless of the facts. This decision threatened the credibility of the government's economic reporting. The nomination was a calculated move to install a loyalist, not an expert. It would soon become a major political headache for the White House. The stage was set for a controversy that would test the administration's ability to govern effectively. To understand Antoni's nomination, we need to look at how the job became vacant. Erica McIntyre, a respected economist and career professional, was abruptly fired as BLS commissioner on August 1, 2025. Her dismissal came just after the BLS released a disappointing jobs report and revised previous numbers downward. The data showed 258,000 fewer jobs than initially reported, a blow to the president's narrative. Trump claimed the revisions were proof of manipulation, using the numbers as a pretext to remove McIntyre. McIntyre called her firing an attack on the agency's independence, likening the BLS to the Federal Reserve in its need for political insulation. The message to federal workers was clear: inconvenient truths could cost you your job. The White House now needed a replacement, but wasn't seeking another independent expert. Instead, it wanted someone who shared the president's suspicions and political views. The search was about loyalty, not competence. This approach guaranteed trouble from the start. The vacancy at the BLS became a symbol of the administration's willingness to politicize even the most technical agencies. The groundwork was laid for a nomination that would spark widespread controversy. The stage was set for Antoni's troubled candidacy. With the BLS leadership empty, the Trump administration moved quickly to fill it with a loyalist. Their pick, E.J. Antoni, chief economist at the Heritage Foundation and contributor to Project 2025. Unlike typical BLS nominees, neutral experts with deep experience, Antoni was a political advocate. The usual process values impartiality and professionalism. Antoni's nomination was a clear break from tradition. He was chosen for his ideology, not his expertise. Many saw this as an attempt to politicize the BLS and undermine its credibility. The administration's priority was loyalty, not competence. Antoni's background raised immediate red flags about the agency's future independence. His nomination signaled a willingness to bend facts to fit a political narrative. The scrutiny of his record was just beginning. From the start, Antoni's qualifications were questioned. Critics noted his lack of experience with complex statistics and government data collection. Some economists called his nomination a joke, pointing to his history of misinterpreting key economic statistics. Antoni had even suggested ending the monthly jobs report, a radical idea that alarmed experts. The jobs report is vital for businesses and policymakers. Ending it would undermine transparency. Antoni's extreme statements, like calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme, revealed deep political bias. His record showed he was unfit to lead an agency built on objectivity. Opposition to his nomination was swift and bipartisan. The White House had chosen a candidate lacking both competence and the right temperament. The controversy over his fitness for the role only grew. As Antoni's confirmation process began, journalists dug into his past, and what they found was alarming. Antoni had been present outside the Capitol on January 6, 2021. While he didn't enter, his presence raised concerns. Reporters uncovered a deleted social media account filled with offensive posts, sexually degrading attacks on Vice President Harris, derogatory remarks about gay people, and bizarre conspiracy theories. He referenced Nazi weaponry and posted a cruel comment about Senator John McCain's death. "I like a senator who doesn't die." These posts revealed a pattern of disrespect, extremism, and poor judgment. Antoni's history was not just controversial, it was disqualifying. The revelations made it nearly impossible to defend his nomination. The White House had chosen a candidate with a deeply troubling public record. The media exposure turned Antoni's nomination into a political disaster. His past posts weren't just opinions, they were hateful and conspiratorial. The administration's vetting process was called into question. The nomination was now in serious jeopardy. As damaging information about Antoni surfaced, the Trump White House faced a choice: withdraw the nomination or double down. The administration chose to defend him, dismissing criticism as partisan attacks. Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt insisted Antoni would provide honest data, ignoring his offensive posts and lack of qualifications. This defense strained credibility. How could someone with a record of conspiracy theories be trusted with the nation's economic data? By standing by Antoni, the White House appeared to endorse his past behavior. The message: political loyalty outweighed character and competence. The defense was unsustainable as more negative information emerged. The controversy grew, making the administration look stubborn and out of touch. The refusal to back down only prolonged the crisis. The White House's approach amplified doubts about its judgment. The administration's priorities were now under intense scrutiny. The nomination was unraveling in public view. While the White House defended Antoni, the Senate told a different story. With a closely divided chamber, Trump needed nearly every Republican vote. But Antoni's controversies made many GOP senators uneasy. Privately, Republicans expressed serious reservations about his qualifications and offensive statements. Supporting Antoni meant defending his degrading remarks and presence at the Capitol on January 6. For many, this was a bridge too far. Quiet opposition from within the president's own party became the biggest threat to the nomination. Recent history showed Republicans had already blocked other controversial Trump nominees. By late September, it was clear the votes weren't there. Too many Republicans refused to support Antoni. Facing certain defeat, the White House withdrew the nomination. The withdrawal was a quiet admission of failure. Even a determined president couldn't force the Senate to confirm someone so unfit. The episode exposed limits to partisan loyalty in the Senate. Antoni's failed nomination was not an isolated incident. The Trump administration had seen a string of high-profile defeats, including Matt Gaetz and Ed Martin. The pattern pointed to a broken vetting process. Proper vetting should uncover red flags, offensive posts, lack of qualifications, before a name goes forward. Instead, the White House prioritized loyalty and ideology over competence. This led to repeated public embarrassments and reinforced perceptions of chaos. Each failed nomination made the administration look unprepared and careless. Antoni's case was the most glaring example. His extreme views and troubling history were public knowledge. A competent vetting process would have stopped his nomination immediately. The administration's failure damaged its credibility. The process for selecting key officials was clearly dysfunctional. The Antoni debacle offers clear lessons about presidential appointments and government integrity. First, competence and character still matter. Media scrutiny and bipartisan Senate concern proved some lines can't be crossed. The episode underscored the importance of an independent civil service, shielded from political interference. The strong reaction to Antoni's nomination showed that many still value agency integrity. Investigative journalism played a crucial role, exposing flaws the government overlooked. A vigilant press remains a vital check on executive power. The White House's failure to vet nominees properly carries a political price. Antoni's nomination was a blunder from start to finish, born from anger, defended with stubbornness, and doomed by poor judgment. The result? A predictable, avoidable failure that damaged the administration's reputation. This case stands as a warning about the dangers of prioritizing loyalty over basic competence.